Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Right and wrong.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Right and wrong.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Whoa.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Whoa.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Right and wrong.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Right and wrong.
Welcome to Right and Wrong. This is the show where we try to wake up the woke by talking common sense about the issues of the day. I'm your host, Brian Ruka, and with me, as always, over there is my man and yours, producer Juice. He is known from here all the way to Mexico for one thing and one thing only. That's speaking the truth all day, every day. My man, Truth Box. What is going on tonight, brother?
What's up? Remember that thing?
That's awesome. I'm so glad you did that. Some a young like 20-something-year-old guy at work did that the other day, and I was like, "Oh, it's hilarious! You remember that commercial?" And he's like, "Oh, isn't that from that Adam Sandler movie?" It's like he wasn't around when that actual commercial was on, but made me feel old and kind of laugh.
Yeah. I'm ready to roll.
Good bit.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. Let's jump into it. Are you guys happy? You guys proud of us for coming 2 weeks in a row here, back to back, like the old days? Yep, absolutely. Good. Well, I'm excited. All right, Juice, let's get this thing going. I did something just the other day that I should have probably done years ago. I deleted the Facebook app from my phone. You know, we talk about the amount of time that we waste scrolling on social media apps, and I've been guilty of making this same complaint for years now. And I, like everyone else, continued to pull out my phone and scroll on Facebook anytime there was a pause in my day-to-day activity. You could say I was determined to just complain about it. At the same time, I was unwilling to change anything that would actually solve the issue. Now, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over while expecting different results. I might have a master's degree in the insanity approach to self-improvement at this point in my life, but let's just stick to the Facebook story thing for now. If I redirected the amount of time I waste on social media apps, because let's face it, it's not just the book that I'm wasting my time on, and I used that time to work on this show, then you guys would be watching us on the Daily Wire app by now. I started thinking a lot about ending my social media usage the same way that I decided to quit smoking cigarettes. I decided baby steps would probably be the best way to approach this thing. So much like going from Newports to Marb Lights, I started by just removing the Facebook app from my home screen. Unfortunately, over the course of the next couple of weeks, I continued pulling up that Facebook app simply by searching the phone, and I'd be on there just scrolling, judging, and getting annoyed almost as quickly as before. Until it finally hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm acting like a woman here. I felt like I was in that booth at Monk's with Jerry and George when they're talking about needing to make changes in their lives. Jerry says, "We're not men." To which Costanza responds, "We're definitely not men." I had convinced myself that I needed social media to try and help grow the show and to try and find some material to use here on the show. Instead of doing that, I would find myself resisting the urge to comment on a misinformed Trump-hating post by a distant relative that was copy and pasted without ever being read. Since I've become more political on social media, I've had a few back and forths with my fair share of Facebook friends. I've been defriended, I've been blocked, and I've been laughed at. I've been called a homophobe and a bully. I've been told that a person fears for my daughter's future because of my point of view. And I've been accused of wanting to keep my wife barefoot and pregnant. Do you know what hasn't happened since I've become more vocal on Facebook. My number of followers hasn't grown and my show hasn't blown up. I'm obviously not using these apps the way I would need to use them in order to gain a following. Instead of finding videos we could use on the show, I'm on there wondering why in God's name someone would use that photo as their profile pic. We all know that these apps are addictions. Honestly, halfway through writing this monologue, I found myself taking a 5-minute break. And that 5-minute break turned into 35 minutes going through TikTok videos, followed, thankfully, by me deleting that app off my phone as well. You see, I spend a lot of time on the show pointing out the flaws of the opposite sex. It's because I feel that women have been encouraged for decades at this point to ignore their femininity in an attempt to become just like men. They've been sold a set of lies about the evils of the patriarchy by the feminist movement. What I haven't spent enough time focusing on is that the same social structure encouraging women to become more masculine is also encouraging men to become more feminine. Again, I'm willing to fall on the sword here and admit that I'm certainly not as masculine as the men that came 2 or 3 generations before me. In fact, I've been living in a world where the term toxic masculinity gets used over and over again. Let's be honest here. Anytime you hear toxic masculinity on CNN or MSNBC, they just mean masculinity. Just that, plain and simple. Men acting like men are demonized. And unfortunately, too many of us have been willing to allow that narrative to form. We've been all too happy to go Dutch on a first date because we selfishly wanted to keep more money in our own pockets. We stopped holding doors or watching our language when we're around our ladies because we figured if they don't want to act like ladies, then I guess we don't want to act like gentlemen. And I'm sure we could debate, which one came first there. It's the old chicken and the egg argument, but it's happened. To be clear, I'm generalizing here, and I also believe that our actions and attitudes have been subliminally changing over the years because of the overarching attempt to change our world from a patriarchal one into a matriarchal one. This whole thing has me thinking about that strong men. That's a tough one. Clip that one, Juice. The old strong men meme that you guys have all seen out there. You know the one. It goes, hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good men create weak men. Weak men create hard times. I think I've lived in good times all my life, and I fear that I'm either already there or on the verge of becoming a weak man. Weak men lazily scroll on Facebook, getting wrapped up in internet drama like it's the latest episode of The Jersey Shore or something. Weak men sit around in sweatpants playing video games instead of trying to make a family. Weak men encourage their girlfriends to get abortions instead of raising the children they've created. Weak men abuse and use women. They abandon the women who they impregnate. Weak men leave the success of their own life up to chance. But, as the great Billy Zane once said, a real man makes his own luck. Thankfully, Donald Trump has been leading a movement that encourages men to be strong again. That's been a key feature of the MAGA movement. And if Trump can stand up and say, fight, 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 after nearly having his brains blown off, I think the least I can do is man up and stop scrolling through Facebook. And with that being said, I do believe it's time to welcome in our good friend, Mr. Ric Flair, because it is showtime, baby. Woo!
Showtime! Woo! Woo!
Did your voice
That
crack
up,
there a
boy.
little bit on the Showtime? Or was
Oh,
that just-
definitely.
because I'm
Oh, definitely. I went for it and it just wasn't there.
Yeah,
Weak men.
weak man.
What
Voice
do you-
hasn't got over the cliff yet. Lack of
I guess it's on
testosterone.
point. What's it?
Testosterone shots.
Yeah, need some of
We
that.
need to do that. Like this show is brought to you by, testosterone for men.
Yeah, I
Pills.
like where your head's at. That might help. Maybe get a script myself for that. Good stuff, right, my man? Anything stand out from you there? I know sometimes you
Yeah, I know we're gonna address
you see where I'm coming
some of
from
these.
there.
We're gonna address a couple of these things though. But I was dying laughing at the Newports to Marlboro Light.
You remember those
It's the
days?
equivalent of Facebook off of the main thing. You have to
Yeah.
go look for it.
Yeah, have to go find it a little bit more. But
Uh,
it's crazy, man. I know you've never been like a Facebook guy.
I've
I
never
know
had
that.
an account. Don't
Yeah.
spoiler alert. We have a question coming up.
Oh,
But,
sorry.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's good. That was funny.
But
And
no,
and important. But yeah, like weak men.
it's
So,
just it's
like,
just a waste of time. Like I don't know why, sitting there doing
I'm
that
very
stuff and
guilty
it's not good
of
for you.
being like a weak man in many respects, but maybe not the things you said. Like I'm a lazy man and stuff like that, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Well,
we can
it's like
all improve. I have a lot to improve on.
yeah.
But I'm happy with like I have willpower to get it done when I want to. I'm just a procrastinator, which I think is
Oh,
also
yeah.
yeah.
That's what makes us great partners at this show. I think we're both like A+ procrastinators.
Mhm.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, guys, this is an exciting episode because we're jumping back in with an old game of 10 questions with the truth, the 10 questions of truth, if you will. And you guys remember it. We did this a couple of times already, and we're gonna keep mixing this in, as we continue to bang out these episodes. So, I guess to jump in, Juice, you want to show the crowd, let the audience know what we're thinking of using for buzzers this week?
Sure thing. Starting off, should I introduce it or press it and then describe it?
Dealer's choice, my friend.
All right, first one up this week, right? King Charles in Canada doing a land acknowledgement, which it's so funny because I think he's sent there to kind of like pump up Canada's
Yep.
tires and things like that. And Canada has once or is associated with the crown in some way, so hence why
Yep.
he's coming over there. But in this land acknowledgement, he basically takes it away from both of them, right? Like he
Yep.
said, this land doesn't belong; it belongs to
Yeah.
the Muckleshoot. And
I mean, the man is the model. He's the model of monarchy, right? And
Yeah.
in Western like civilization taking over.
Yeah, and now he's doing land acknowledgements. Like,
Yeah, it's insane.
Here we go.
Acknowledge that we are gathered on the unceded territory of the Algonquin and the Shinabeg people.
There we go.
Yeah, not Canada.
Thanks. I think he's isn't he still Prince? Or is
Dude,
he
like,
actually is he king? Like because
I think so. Like, right? Yeah,
Queen
he's the king.
died, so he's the king.
King
Yeah,
Charles.
King Charles.
King Charles III
Right.
or something.
Yeah. There we go. Good job, King Charles.
Yeah.
Who else we got?
We got one. You can't have that one without having another land acknowledgement. So.
Oh yeah. Good point. That's what we kind of decided to go with
Yeah.
a land acknowledgement theme here, right?
Because whenever you just talk anything about land acknowledgements, you have to have this Microsoft campaign, with their land acknowledgement. I mean, Microsoft event, for their user event or something.
The land where the Microsoft campus is situated was traditionally occupied by the Sammamish, the Duwamish, the Snoqualmie, the Suquamish, the Muckleshoot, the Snohomish, the Tulalip, and other Coast Salish peoples since time immemorial.
Blah, 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 blah.
Who's that at the end?
Forget that one.
Who's that at the end?
It sounds like your girl Greta Thunberg, but like I think it is.
How dare
I think it is.
you?
Like obviously
Yeah.
she'd be in on the bit.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think someone spliced in her little like thing.
How dare you?
How dare you? You should be ashamed. That's awesome.
We got one last one for you, which is one of my personal favorites. Speaking of that personal, from the Communist Association of America or whatever it is. Right? Thank you,
I
comrade.
love it.
Here you go, comrade. This is the people speaking up before the meeting. You got questions? Can we get started?
Yep.
Yeah.
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Awesome.
And they would keep
Yes,
coming out,
you've been
point of
using
personal privilege. Yeah.
Dude, that's been one of your bits for years now. The point of personal privilege.
It's great.
amazing.
Remember at that place where they use it ad nauseum? The guy before that.
Yeah.
Point of personal privilege. Tony Mahoney out of Sacramento. He, him. Like they do the.
Wasn't that the same place they were telling you to shoot them up? Like,
yeah,
right?
because we have people with sensory issues, so
Oh,
clapping
my
tends
goodness.
to be too loud.
Unbelievable.
And as a
That's
reminder, we
great.
have a sensory room. They said.
Yeah, just upstairs.
On mute.
Oh, it's good stuff.
All right, let's get
All
into
right,
it.
let's get into it. Number 10. Give us a buzzer to start things off, Juice.
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Oh, great. Number 10. Juice. We already kind of started on this one. What social media apps do you personally use, and how do you use them, and how often do you use them?
I have. Hold on 1 second. Actually, I haven't had my mic plugged in the whole time. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Just go
I
with
got
it.
you.
All right.
Well, you're in.
I have Instagram
Yeah.
and X.
Okay.
I don't use them and this is going to be me justifying it in some way because I do find myself doing the same thing as you. But I don't use them in the traditional social aspect. I don't really follow. I follow maybe you and stuff, but like nobody knows. Like my name isn't my name on there. I don't follow people. I'm not using it necessarily to creep on people. But I'm just using it as like a news source and hobby information. Like so, I follow accounts such as like Catholic Answers. Different tattoo artists that I like, seeing work stuff that way, Pokemon content creators, and things like that. But I'm not like, because I do think it is one bad in regards to our attention span, two bad for our what is this, confidence or self-esteem?
Yeah, self-esteem.
Like people
like you're comparing yourself to your neighbors, right? Like keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah, and I think there's a commandment about that, right?
Yeah,
don't
absolutely.
covet your neighbor's things and wife and
the entire that's what
whole
Facebook
thing
is.
Coveting,
right?
Yeah,
It's like
I want
they're on
what
vacation.
they have.
Oh, they got a
perfect
pool.
family. And these people fight just like we do. They're just putting their perfect moment on the gram or on the Facebook. So it makes you feel, I mean, if you're not, some people aren't, high IQ enough to realize that's what's happening, and it does hurt them,
Oh yeah.
So
absolutely.
But like we said, I've never had a Facebook account. Whether I remember it coming out when I was in college. Didn't get one then. Haven't got one now.
Yeah.
And that's my one claim to fame. But yeah, I check in a minimum one a day on Instagram, which leads to more. Gets into into a. But I've
you get stuck.
Moved away from X a bit because whenever you someone does something and you think there's going to be comments, the comments are never about what the thing is. I'm glad it is still a free. Yeah, it's still a great freedom of speech platform, and I think that's all good. And I do go on there, especially when people in our friendly chat send stuff. But I find myself mainly using Instagram, and at least once a day.
Okay. All right. Nice. I'm still gonna keep my accounts open. I just removed them from my phone. So I don't really see myself going on Facebook.
You're on Virginia Slims right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Or nicotine gum.
A little bit of that. The patch. All that stuff.
Stiller and Meet the Parents.
Yep.
He's going there trying to buy all the stuff. We got the gum.
Awesome.
The guy's we got the gum. Remember the guy behind the counter? He's going to get Tom Collins mix.
Yeah, little Tom Collins mix. Oh, that's awesome. Great reference.
What are your thoughts? I mean, we heard everything about yours. Do you have anything to add?
No. Just that they're gonna they're gonna stay. I still do want to use them for the show, but I'm trying to remove that personal part of it, and we're not really go on there, not really get sucked into that. So I still want to post clips from here and that type of stuff, but gonna kind of try to keep it in check.
Maybe try to do maybe a baby step would be a show presence, but not a personal point of preference.
Yeah, point of personal show preferences.
All
All right,
Okay, moving on.
let's do it.
Oh, last thing actually before moving on. X, you still use that? I take it. Or
Oh yeah. X, I'll be on there. I'll still use that.
you don't. It's not
Again,
a friends and stuff, right? It's just a news source.
I
for the most part?
don't think I'm nobody that I'm like actually like friends with really is like on there. I don't really see anything like that. It's all like the news stuff, and
Yeah.
obviously we do get clips from there. Like when we do share clips here, it's mostly getting them from X.
Yeah, don't
so
delete
that
one.
it's still gonna be there. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So,
Acknowledge that we are gathered on the unceded territory of the Algonquin and the Shinabeg people.
oh, it's great even hearing it from that accent too. I love it.
Yeah.
Number
'cause
9.
Traditionally, people who speak like this are not conquerors. And
yeah, exactly. Okay, number 9. Mission Impossible 8 and the live action Lilo and Stitch remake were both released over the Memorial Day weekend, and they did massive at the box office. Yeah, big stuff. People are saying return
Stitch
of the
killed
summer
it?
blockbuster.
Really?
Right?
The Stitch
Yeah,
killed
that's
it.
the
I'm
yes, I
I
guess.
plan
Yeah.
on seeing it.
Okay. Now, with that in mind, with the holiday weekend, movie trip and, the start of the blockbuster season, Juice, what has been your favorite summer blockbuster movie that you've ever attended in the theaters?
Very easy to rattle off 2. I haven't officially
Okay.
picked 1, but 2
I have one
were
in my
like,
head that I'm thinking you're going to say.
okay, I think you'll think both of these, unless you tell me one of them wasn't summer, but I think they both were. But easy answer to get to 2, like
Okay.
immediate Jurassic Park and
Ooh,
Independence Day.
nice. Those weren't what I was going to guess. I thought you were going to say like, the Phantom Menace. Like I remember how fired up you were for that. Maybe because the
Yeah.
movie's not quite as good as we wanted it to be.
Yeah,
But
some of that, but these like
you
just
know,
have that more of like that's like a pre-established thing. I know this was Mission Impossible 8, right? But these ones just felt like they were something new. It was a new
I love
idea.
it.
Like
Those
those were
two,
both things never
those
been
movies
done
are both
before.
incredible.
Yeah, incredible movies hadn't been done before. Like I wouldn't feel like it would be summer blockbuster Jurassic The Lost Park. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Jurassic Park qualified.
Yep. All
Like
day.
Mission Impossible 8. Like I mean, yeah, it can be a summer blockbuster, but that wasn't where I was going.
Alright.
It had to be something
I like it.
groundbreaking.
That's great. The one that I wrote down was Independence Day for myself. Like 1998. I mean, 96. I remember it came out like 4th of July weekend. I think I went and saw it like 3 times in the theater, like over that
Mhm.
run. Incredible. The movie was great. Will Smith was like the coolest back then. Movie was awesome.
Yeah, those commercials leading up to it, him like with the cigar, like
Oh yeah,
yeah,
awesome.
saying some
And
one-liner.
I love that you said Jurassic Park because now, whatever, how many years later it is, 20, 30 years later, Jurassic Park's the far superior movie than Independence Day. They're both good. Like I still like Independence Day, but Jurassic Park's like that's an all-timer. Independence Day, a little cheesy, like,
Yeah, but when I think summer blockbuster, I think being
nice,
13
fun
years old,
action.
and
Oh, yeah.
being at a certain age for when
Yeah.
And now
All
we
day.
can experience summer blockbusters with our family. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm into
Yep.
that.
Oh yeah. Good stuff.
But dude, I think Stitch is one of the better recent memory Disney franchises, and I'm excited about that. I'm happy to hear it did well.
Okay.
It's like
See, I don't know anything about it. I don't think I ever saw the cartoon version.
You're
either.
crazy for not. It's really good. But I'm not
Really?
I'm not gonna explain what it is or anything. But I'm just happy. Like, okay, Stitch is blue, not purple.
Okay. Yeah.
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 Looks like a little Hawaiian girl. I don't know what she is, but she's the right skin tone. Like it's supposed to be a Hawaiian girl.
Yep.
And it looks pretty. Like you know what I mean? They didn't put a white girl in there.
From what I hear, they stuck pretty much
Yeah.
right through the story and everything too.
And the CGI Stitch looks awesome. To translate that versus other.
All right.
I haven't
right,
seen
good
it,
stuff.
but I'll report back by next show with a Stitch.
Oh, I like it. All right. Boom. Let's do it.
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
He can't even get it out. He's so fired up. Number 8. A woman in the UK was just sentenced to 2.5 years in prison for a tweet that was deemed racist. Will this one day start happening here in the US? And should any tweet be worthy of a jail sentence, my friend?
No tweet should be worthy of a jail sentence. Secondly, I have too much faith in the American people to think that this will happen to us, right?
Okay. I like it.
COVID was a test to see how much they could get away with. They
Yep.
got away with a lot.
They did.
Initially, right?
Yep.
But I feel it eventually backfired. People are more suspicious of the government today
Yep.
than they ever were any time I can recall in recent memory, right? Like they
Yeah.
got us for a long time, and maybe
Oh, yeah.
those were clot shot. I don't know. And, either way, but I think it eventually was like a test to see how much they could get away with. Did.
And they
And
pushed
then
too
kind of
hard.
like, yeah. And so it's like, hey, like in, whatever, when the conspiracy of who committed 9/11 or something like that becomes
Yep.
mainstream knowledge, the people
Yep.
will never give up an inch of
I like it.
freedom or freedom of speech or things like that.
Yeah. It's
So
crazy.
I'm a big no. It's something that, like, we can lose our identity and what, like, toxic masculinity and stuff like that.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
we might as well not exist if we don't keep our freedoms that we
Exactly.
were built on.
And the UK is like, it's crazy.
Yeah, they've been
'cause
getting
they're doing
trampled
this-
over for years. Like,
Yeah, remember another dude got arrested a while back for silently praying in his head outside of an
Yeah.
abortion clinic.
Yeah.
Like,
A
it's
lady, yeah.
insane. Insane. So,
and
yeah.
so same with Canada. Like, they haven't had rights in
No.
50 years.
Yeah, that's just it
But it
boggles
once that
my mind.
happens
And
here,
just
I just don't think it will happen here because of
okay,
it's such a
good. Too much faith
fundamental
in the
thing.
American people. I like that. I like it. Good stuff. Keep it optimistic. All right, let's keep this going.
The land where the Microsoft campus is situated was traditionally occupied by the Sammamish, the Duwamish, the Snoqualmie, the Suquamish, the Muckleshoot.
That's how to get to Muckleshoot.
Oh, it's awesome. All right, number 7. 40 illegal aliens were arrested earlier in the week on Martha's Vineyard in Nantucket here in Massachusetts. Juice, were these 40 leftovers from that time DeSantis shipped a bunch of illegals up there? And how much will this affect the service on the islands ahead of this busy summer season?
The math adds up. So I'm going to say it's the exact same, what do they call it, when you have a list of passengers or whatever.
Manifest?
Yeah, the same exact manifest.
But it is a trick question, though, because remember part of the story at that time was how quickly they got them right off of there.
I know.
But I'm thinking these 40, like,
okay, yeah.
back.
It's too, well, then how about, like, it's too weird that it adds up to 40.
I know. It is pretty funny.
But the other
And then,
thing,
how's the service going to be?
This will not disrupt things on the island. Did the Obamas live on the island? Is that where
They're
live?
on Nantucket, yeah.
Oh, that's Nantucket. All right, well,
Yeah, but this is where they came. This was Martha's Vineyard in Nantucket. They got both.
But if they can go out and just kill their chef in the backyard, like a top tier chef, right?
We're not facts and stats guys, mind you, but
entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
If they can go out and do that, drown this guy in a pond of knee deep water, then I don't think they have trouble getting somebody at the hot dog stand.
Okay.
If that's a top chef in the world, and they'll just find somebody else, right? These people get what they want. Nothing stops them by that. Put a couple on the ferry and bring them in.
I like it. Perfect. Well said, Juice. I love it. All right, hit it.
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Oh, I love it.
I was like,
time.
Hit what?
Bang it. All right, number 6. A big theme in the monologue centered around men growing up and acting more like men, as opposed to feminized men or overgrown children. Now, with that in mind, Juice, should grown men play video games, wear their hats backwards, and listen to rap music?
Are you describing me? No. uh,
I'm always
I,
wearing my hat backwards.
yeah. The hat backwards thing. I think you. I think we might disagree on this one a little bit, but I think what I say might help you justify what I'm. Help you see where I'm coming from in a little bit.
Okay.
Whatever I just said there. But yeah, I think grown men can play video games. I think we can do anything in moderation as long as it's
Yep.
not inherently sinful or evil.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
in moderation. And I do all three of these things on occasion. I've grown further apart from rap music mainly because of
Yeah.
the messaging. I don't really agree with as the older I get, I kind of
Yeah.
focusing on different things. But I still I went to a concert, SZA and Kendrick Lamar a couple weeks ago, and it was awesome, great entertainment.
Ooh.
It was, dude. SZA was. I'm really impressed by SZA, and I didn't know her
Okay.
songs before I saw that.
Okay.
So, moral of the story is, I think you can do anything that isn't on just at face value completely sinful or bad, as long as you do it, with moderation.
Okay.
But I will say, not a facts and stats guy, but I believe there is some correlation, or somebody's done a study between older folks randomly playing a video game or something, maybe once whatever, to keep them sharp. I think that's
okay.
good. Fingers to the
Mahjong?
No, I'm saying even a video game.
On the thing.
Whatever they want to play, just to keep keep the things firing.
Keep the brain sharp.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what I mean?
All right. You might be selling me. And
also,
Juice,
we're the first video game generation to get to this age almost. There's some people older than us, but who's to say yet? But I definitely do agree with you in the fact that the person who's playing 18 hours of Call of Duty hasn't seen the sun in a month, and is not going anywhere in his life. I think a father can mix in a couple games at the end of the day when all the duties are done, the kids are in bed, and you want to play a round of Mario Kart. I think that's okay.
Yeah, and that's where obviously I'm laying it on hard here. With the framing of the question and everything, and I'm no stranger to a video game too. It's just it's more so the what you described at the end there, the 18 hours of Call of Duty or the Grand Theft Auto,
Cheetos
playing
and Mountain Dews and stuff.
Yeah, on the headset talking smack to some kid
with the headset and the Mountain Dews.
Yep, exactly.
The meatloaf.
That's the stereotype I'm poking at.
Yeah.
And honestly, the backwards hat thing has messed with me a little bit at 40 now, where I do feel at times a little goofy.
Yeah.
Am I just trying to look young and cool still?
My wife loves it though for some reason.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
And if I can, I don't have a ton else going on looks
almost sick. Yeah, it's like
around.
Seth Rogen in Knocked Up, right? Look, he's going to that one too many times.
Yeah.
That's the only move he's got is the backwards hat move.
Yeah, now he's wearing his scally caps backwards. I don't know, folks.
Oh, it's awesome. And in rap for me, where I've come down on rap lately. Where honestly, even the stuff we used to listen to and grow up on and stuff, I just feel cheesy listening to it, the lyrics of it.
Yeah, but I feel like some
stuff,
reggae usually has a better message because a lot of it is, rooted in religion. But some of that could be, people could say the same thing about.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, you're 100% right. But it's just, that's that's a point of personal privilege here where I'm feeling that,
All
right.
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Perfect. That brings us into question number 5. ESPN has had coverage for a lot of the NHL and the NBA playoffs. I haven't really paid any attention to the NBA, couple minutes here and there at the end of a Celtics game. But I have been watching the NHL, and during these playoff games, there's a growing trend that stands out to me like a sore thumb, and it is the insistence on having female color announcers. Like right there in the booth with the play-by-play guy, and then the female is the one they're going to for the expertise. Is this distracting when you hear a female voice on the call of a major sporting event, Juice?
Yes. I don't listen to a lot of sports recently, but definitely is, especially when you're talking about the big four sports where,
Yep.
like, women can be good hockey players, don't get me wrong. Like, there's some really good women hockey players, but if you're calling like this Stanley Cup run and you've never like been in a body checking league, then you kind of like haven't played the sport, right?
Exactly.
But having said that, the exception for me 100% is golf. I love, some Dottie Pepper, some Kelly Tillman, Dame Judy Rankin, like the soft kind of British lady voice.
Yeah. Okay.
Pull up in front of the putt here,
Right.
up too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep talking into this microphone. It's not plugged in.
All right. Good answer. Yeah. It definitely, but obviously I put the question in there.
Yeah, dude, you hate women. We already know that, dude. This is the same guy with a barefoot wife and a baby in the belly at all times.
Oh, that's good stuff. It just, I can't help it. It's a distraction. And it actually does make me think of a conversation that I had with Ashley a while back when I was like trying to get her to listen to like something on Falgren Maz. Like we were in a car ride. I'm like, oh, whatever. Everyone's doing their own thing. And as I'm like, oh, listen, like she gave like a courtesy chuckle at the thing. And then eventually it's just like, this is okay that this is just for guys. Like this is meant for guys. Like it's not meant to appeal to me. Like, and I'm like, yeah. In sports in general, like they're guy oriented. It doesn't mean that women can't like sports, be into it, watch it, enjoy it. But let's stick with the bread and butter, what works here and what has worked for years. Can't
help but sorry, finish your thought.
No, go ahead.
You can't help but think that like it takes you away from it where you're like thinking of the decision to put this person on instead of being like, oh, this is a great broadcast.
Exactly.
Right?
And it's not just because of the talent. It's doing it for a reason.
That's great. Let's do it when it makes sense. And that is the best person for the job. But if you're doing it for virtue signaling, we don't
exactly
can't be doing that.
Exactly.
And that's where I think like in golf, like there's women golf and men golf. Like there's a handicap system and some can beat others in a match. And that's how things kind of should be, right? And, and they played this sport at the highest levels, and it's the same sport as what the guys play. So I think it blends really well for golf.
No, it's a great point.
But don't have to force it on hockey if it's not right,
Yeah, exactly. And it bleeds onto the field and stuff too for me, where like in football, the NFL, they have female officials out there in the middle, like they're on the sidelines, but like in the jersey and no, I don't want them getting in there and the possibility of them getting run over. It's just it's not being done for merit and best, like you said, person for the job. It's being done with a woke agenda in mind, with a DEI element to it. So that's the frustration.
Especially the color person usually adds that color of bending the play. The other person this is what is currently happening. You can't see it.
That person's the broadcaster.
Yeah. I'm telling you play by play what's happening. Going left to right across your radio, etc. And the other person is being like, "Oh, in my days in the league, this is how we do it."
They're an ex-athlete
or whatever.
Yeah. So crazy. All right, let's hit it.
Acknowledge that we are gathered on the unceded territory of the Algonquin and the Shinabeg people. Acknowledge.
Too bad we weren't talking about stuff like that, but
it's so funny. Number 4. A few weeks ago, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson admitted to racially discriminating within city government. Watch this clip right here and try to explain how anyone could say this with a straight face. Juice?
Will push back on me and say, the only thing that the mayor talks about is the hiring of black people. No, what I'm saying is when you hire our people, we always look out for everybody else. We are the most generous people on the planet. I don't know too many cultures that have play cousins. That's how generous we are. We just make somebody a family member, right? That's just how we are. And so business and economic neighborhood development, the deputy mayor is a black woman. Department of Planning and Development is a black woman. Infrastructure deputy mayor is a black woman. Chief operations officer is a black man. Budget director is a black woman. Senior advisor is a black man. And I'm laying that out because when you ask how do we ensure that our people get a chance to grow their business,
That's insane, right?
Yes. What does he say at the beginning? Oh, our people are very generous. What was the word?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it generous?
Yeah.
Like one that doesn't sound like generosity, right? That is it's like generosity would be like spreading it to everybody, like
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Recommending people who you think need this job and are qualified for this job, etc.
Yep.
That just seems like racism, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If you know, this isn't my language, but let one black woman into that seat of power, then you'll
Yep.
never have somebody who's not a black woman or
Of
occasionally
course.
a black brother allowed into the position. So you're basically cutting off white representation into that thing. That's not generosity on anybody's side.
No.
And how
Like,
can you say that out loud like that? How is that not
just
illegal?
straight face
Or
like
not
that.
illegal because whatever, like the act of it should be illegal where you're just
Yes.
and passing down the line.
He's sitting there proudly proclaiming that all these people in his administration have
Yeah,
these
but
positions.
not elected, you can believe it that we're gonna get somebody we know, hook somebody up.
Yeah.
You know,
And he says, take care of our people. He's tasked with taking care of the people of
all
Chicago.
the constituents. Yeah.
Like not just the black people of Chicago. And again, like this is the easiest thing to do, but reverse that around, like right, or even take someone who is a minority. The mayor here, Queen Wu in Boston. What if she just staffed everything with an Asian? Like people would have something to say about that.
Yeah, black
They
people
really
would have
would.
something to say about
Yeah,
that. Just
absolutely. If she couldn't sit there and be like, "Oh, we're not hiring any black
This is
people because we
racist.
have an
Yeah.
Asian director of tourism and Asian, this, whatever." Like starts rattling it off the way he did, or God forbid, oh, we have all white, cabinet
racist.
leaders.
Yeah,
Like, no way.
it's
No way.
and dude, I call people uncle stuff. I have people that what he's saying. We're the only people who have,
Oh yeah.
like, right, Uncle Brian,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Play cousins. Come on.
And call people.
It's
whatever.
crazy.
We don't have close friends. Yeah, I am insulted by that. Not
Good.
offended, but like, it's a shame that I'm happy to not be his constituent. I'll tell you that. It doesn't
Absolutely.
seem like they're getting necessarily the right people for the job. They're just greasing palms and hooking each other up and laughing their way to the pension bank.
Yeah, absolutely, all day. All right, hit it.
I'm running out of things. I think that's a personal
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
That was a point of personal privilege. All right, Juice. Harvard professor Francesca Gino was let go after the school's top governing board determined that she tweaked observations in 4 separate studies so that the findings boosted her hypothesis. New York Post story. Oh, sorry. I just Ron Burgundy that. Right?
Ron
That
Burgundy?
came from a New York Post story.
Oh, is that where you're supposed to like give us? Is that something?
Yeah, because I was reading directly from the story, so I want to give it credit. That's hilarious. Oh boy. Remember what we talked about pre-show Juice? That's gonna be one we want to use next time we play this game. All right, Juice. After all that, give us one good reason why this school or any other college at this point deserves 1 cent of taxpayer dollars.
Not facts and stats, guys. Even though I've went through this before, I went to an in-state university. I qualified for some type of financial aid, and if that comes from the federal government, I guess that's my deserves 1 cent. I don't think that should be, but again, that's not so. Like your question is almost slightly confusing because a private institution like Harvard
Yeah.
University versus a state university, like, so I think there
Yeah,
is
yeah.
some difference there. So no, 0 cents to Harvard. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yep.
But to the school in general, but to the student who does qualify for that school, but just so happens doesn't have $100,000. Maybe there is somewhere in between because I benefited from this. I have made a good career probably by the fact that I just had the piece of paper. I didn't really
Yep.
learn a ton or anything. But do you know what I mean? I can't really say you shouldn't put anything in it
Well,
if
I
I
guess it's
was a
like,
recipient of something.
well, it snowballs into then what is the purpose of the university education? What's the purpose of, in are we giving taxpayer dollars to a Harvard University when they have an endowment that's
Yeah,
what,
people, anybody who
56
graduated from
billion
there
or
gives $1
something?
million a
So
year.
it's like we don't need to be funding that at all. When you
Yeah,
talk
so I
about
just think
state
we need to
schools,
make a distinction there. But maybe we should be putting more money towards, vocational schools and things like
and
that.
that's what Trump wants to do,
Okay.
right? What he
All
just
right.
said, he's going to
Fair enough.
freeze. He's freezing funding from Harvard, and he wants to divert it to trade schools and put it into there, and that's great. Like, I'm fine for that. But yeah, it basically boils down to like I wanted to hit the story, like kind of mention this story here because I hate the whole studies all the time, like, oh, these peer-reviewed studies, and it's like, how many times do we have to see these things get called out for tweaking, for lying? The one about the trans stuff from a while
Didn't the
back that we talked
professor
about.
get kicked out?
Yeah, it's
plagiarism?
crazy. And a peer review just means they're passing it around to all the other people up in
That
their
means
ivory tower
and
that
they
are just
fed
going to give it the thumb. Oh, yeah, we read this. Yep, we're in.
all of them fed it through Chat GPT and like,
Yeah.
get a summary of it.
Yeah, exactly.
300
So it's
pager.
wild. So I'm just
And
glad
like,
that she got
if
busted.
you review theirs and they review yours, it's like that kid in class where you're like, dude, will you correct? You do like the
Yeah,
students
yeah.
correct. Hey, Brian,
Yep.
correct it if you need to. But yeah, I mean, overall, I agree with your sentiment, but the question's a little muddy.
Yeah, because it definitely is it's kind of a bigger
I agree with
conversation.
using it in some ways to help, the lower to middle class, get access to things that they normally like, get access to something though that they have to work towards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Get you in the
yeah.
get you in
Not
the
just
room.
giving
Not
them
freebies.
something.
Yeah, not freebies.
Yeah.
But get you in the room and hey, show us you are worthy of jumping up a class.
Yep.
Something,
All right. I like it. All right, hit it.
The land where the Microsoft campus is situated was traditionally occupied by the Sammamish, the Duwamish, the Snoqualmie, the Suquamish.
Dude, if you remember, after that clip, they go to, for the one person who's, maybe mute, deaf, dumb, and blind, or what have you.
Okay.
They go and say like, "Hi, I am Jared. I wear a mohawk, glasses. I'm Caucasian, and I'm wearing a brown sweater today." And the lady goes, "I'm Susan. My pronouns are she, they, and I'm wearing,
Yeah.
Like
Oh, that was unbelievable.
We need to link to that and just be like, just watch the whole clip.
Oh, that thing was awesome. That's good stuff. All right.
I'm
Number 2.
Ryan. I'm wearing a MAGA hat, a black beard. About he, him pronouns, about 265 pounds, 5'8", and I'll be your moderator for the day.
Oh, I love it. All right, Juice. Number 2, Memorial Day is one of 5 Monday holidays, and I'll say, in case anybody here listens to the Sports Hub, this was a question I heard not from the Felger and Maz show. It was just a guy over the weekend posing this question to the other guy, and I thought it was a good one, so I'm readily stealing it from him. Having said that, Monday holidays that we get throughout the year. We have Memorial Day, Labor Day, Columbus Day, Martin Luther King Day, and President's Day. They're always on a Monday. Could you rank those holidays without accounting for the actual meaning of the holiday, like the purpose of it? Rank them for us, Juice, on which way, from worst to best on the activities that are going on at that time, a party associated with it, a trip that could be done with it, whatever it may be. Out of those 5, let us know how you would rank them.
I got it. Memorial Day.
That's number 5?
No. Number 1, bro.
Okay. All right. Number 1, Memorial Day.
I must have a different list because I have 6, so maybe there's a different one this year.
Okay. Memorial Day. What's in number 1? Why is it number 1?
Number 1, Memorial Day, the unofficial kickoff of summer. It's not too hot yet, at least here. I know it is for everybody, but here in Georgia, you can actually already go in the pool. You know what I mean? It might not get that warm. The kids are out of school by this time down here as well.
Nice.
They got out like a week ago. So that unofficial kickoff of summer, it's not too hot. You're ready to roll. And I know summer actually starts on June 21st or something, but followed up by Labor Day.
Okay.
Kind of, starting to get cool.
October, the bookends of the summer, right?
Yeah.
Beginning and end.
Yep. And usually at a needed time, right?
Yeah.
Let's kick this off, and then
hey,
we need one more. Let's do one more family long weekend before we buckle down, for the cold, harsh winter.
Yeah.
Okay, then President's Day for the sales.
Oh, okay.
President's Day car sales. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
But just I think it's after Christmas holidays. It's a February holiday, right?
Yep.
We're due for
that
one,
one's February.
Right? We're that's a time that we need one. You've gone a month without it.
Okay.
And then MLK I have after that, because it comes too soon. We just did all the festivities and parties.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I know you're a little part. Yeah, we don't need one just then.
Yep.
I'd rather spread that out.
Yep.
And there's not a ton of MLK parties and such. If anything, it probably
speak for yourself, man.
I know that's not an MLK party though. That's a BMR party.
That's true.
Yeah. Followed by Indigenous Peoples Day. and then Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
Yeah, didn't Biden
Monday
make that?
holiday. Juneteenth just down at the bottom, no matter what.
That's my list.
Okay, all right, I like it. Hit me with Labor Day as the number 1, Juice. I love Labor Day. I just think the weather is nicer here in Boston. It's still nice out, still warm, still actually hot. It's hotter than Memorial Day, and it's a good reset before fall being the best season anyways. I love fall. So Labor Day is awesome. Football starting up. It's a good mix. I like Labor Day. I'll go Memorial Day for number 2. Again, the start of the summer. It's awesome. Great cookouts, all that good stuff. Weather could be a little bit better. This past one stunk up here too. Rain and pollen, all that. I'll take Martin Luther King as the 3rd. That happens to be this guy's birthday weekend, like every year. Always falls around that. So that's awesome. And NFL playoffs start right then. So that's always a good extra couple days. Watch that. It's awesome. Give me Columbus after that because it's in the fall. Again, college football's always got a big weekend going on there. And if NFL, work something around there. And then last would be President's Day for me. I feel like we get gypped a little bit because it bleeds right into that February school vacation. I know you guys are a little different, right? Down south?
What was the question? I already said my answer, so I tuned out.
Did you?
No, I heard just last thing I heard you say Columbus. It's
February Presidents, the school vacation. Do you guys have school vacation?
Have something like that. I don't know that it officially lines up with President's Day.
Okay, so that always happens here. It's going to be vacation anyways, so you kind of get it. Kind of wastes that holiday, the Monday holiday. But they might be moving the Super Bowl back to line up with that, which would be nice. All right, let's hit it.
Acknowledge that we are gathered on the unceded territory of the Algonquin, and the Shinabeg people.
All right, Juice. Number one, Elon Musk is walking away from his direct role in Doge. Has the 5-month job that Musk performed been a success, a failure, or somewhere in between?
Preface this with the classic not a facts and stats guy, but I have to, it can be nothing but a success. Just even if the fact is just getting people to talk about government waste, getting this at the top of people's
Yep.
minds, recognize it, having people who know what they're talking about actually voice their opinion on this.
Yep.
There have been and yes, 100% a success when we're stopping sending condoms to Gaza, or the transgender show in
Amen.
in wherever, Guatemala.
Yep.
But at the same time, this guy, we always knew he was gonna go back. He's rich as hell, but a lot of his money is tied up into the success of his businesses. So we got to go do his thing, but let's get this started. I'll put my name to it. Fire the, get rid of the, I don't know if it's the chaff or as some saying, the meat or the chaff or something.
Okay, I like it. I'll go with it. I'm not a facts and stats guy.
Get rid of some of it. Show that it can be done and it's needed.
Yep.
And so how can it not be a success?
Absolutely.
I would love him to stay on full time, do whatever, because even just for the comedic,
it was never going to be a full-time thing, right? We all knew what it was, and I'm with you. 100% success. Great stuff, and just the awareness. I love that you mentioned that, the awareness of it, and getting us to think that way and making it public, conversation, I guess. So good stuff. And you got to tip your cap to the man, right? For what you mentioned, he's taken a hit in his business life, his personal life, all because of this. Not easy to do, and he sacrificed
people
a lot.
who were the biggest buyers of Teslas are keying the cars and burning the
Yeah,
lot.
it's insane.
So
between
man
buying
really
X,
does care about America, and
absolutely,
I know
save
he's not
the
going to go back
astronauts.
to South America. I mean South Africa. That's not a place to go back to. But he genuinely is America first,
Absolutely,
kind of guy, and took his own time out. Yeah,
good stuff. Good stuff. All right, that concludes our 10 questions of truth. Great job. Thanks for playing, Juice.
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Knowledge.
Point of personal privilege.
Yes. The land.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, it's awesome. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Bring it home with our always fun, always popular "Come on, man" segment of the day. This is when we find a clip of somebody saying something, doing something that's so absurd, so ridiculous that even though we're going to make fun of them for a couple of minutes here, there's not much else we could say to them except,
"Oh, man."
Exactly. Now, this one here is a clip we found. Libs of TikTok posted it on that glorious X social media app that we have to maintain for show purposes.
Don't worry.
Right? So this woman, her name is Olivia Juliana.
Hold on, before we go on, do you want to call out some of the accounts we still have? Where can you find us?
Oh, you can find us on.
I know you just got rid of
sweeping it away. No, we're still up on the YouTube. Obviously, we're going to post on YouTube. Please follow us, like, and subscribe to the show. We have the X accounts. I'm at DD Ruka617 or something like that, right? And what are you? You the Truth Box
algorithm at x.com.
I love it.
Juicebox1423.
Oh, good stuff. So yeah, we'll still be up there. Give us a follow. Drop a comment. That stuff is great. Like the video, share it with a friend. We could really use the help there and really appreciate that.
We got a comment. Right. We got a comment last week.
We did. We got a comment. That was fun. Comments are good.
Do you have that?
Beautiful
comment. You don't.
No, big, beautiful comments. We like comments.
It was big, dude. She gave us a write-up.
It was big.
Check that out and go save us.
Save us.
Come in our honor and respond in kind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, come right in our honor. Absolutely.
Let's go debate this lady.
Defend our honor.
Yeah, defend our honor and debate this lady. She's a big Stevie Nicks person. So
big Nicks fan.
Moving on.
Stuff. All right. So this person here that we found her name is Olivia Juliana, and she's an activist attempting to bring back the male vote to the Democrat Party. So she's working with the Democrats. She travels around to campuses. She describes herself as a fat, she, her, queer, Hispanic, I believe is basically what it is. You might not say fat. What's that word they use sometimes? Just like large bodied, plus size,
pleasantly plump.
Pleasantly plump. Yes. So self-described as that. So don't get mad at us when we happen to have to point that out. We're gonna have to do it. So I guess this was part of a conversation she had on a podcast where she was kind of going over a little bit of the strategy she's going to use to
I
bring
think her
back the male vote.
podcast is called the Pleasantly Plump Podcast. Here we go.
Republican messaging resonates with men is because men want bad things, right? So like men want to have sex and like own women, right? Like they want to dominate everybody. And Republicans say you get to do that, and then Democrats can't say that. So we just lost men. It's over, right? Like, what are you talking about? Like a lot of times it will be men that are liberals who will like agree with that shit. I'm like, dude, what are you like? What is going on? Like there's a lot of men that don't think that way, obviously, and it's just such a negative view to take on like half of the human race.
Well, I also think it's just so abundantly clear that the people who say these things don't actually spend time talking to young men. You know this because we know each other in real life, but I spend a lot of time on college campuses, and I spend a lot of time with
young men.
I love young men. I love frat guys, and in that I realized like even the ones that identify as conservative are almost always pro-choice. They're almost always pro-gay marriage. You'd be surprised at the number of them who supported Black Lives Matter. And so I feel like people just kind of lump them into this box when the truth is, again, a lot of them are with us on the issues. They're just not part of our coalition because they feel like they're not welcome.
What is going on there, Juice? What is that? That was terribly loaded question by the tool that is the podcast host there. That kid, he's definitely in the weak men category. But
we want to have our women drag them by the hair, club them, and put them over our shoulders.
Yeah. What does he think this world is that we're living in? No, we want to honor our lives.
Yeah, we're the people. We're the party of uplifting women, dude.
Yes, you want to encourage women to be used and abused. You want men that can use and abuse women on the Democrat side.
Tell them they're men. Tell them they're men.
Take their trophies from them, invade their spaces.
Yeah, we're trying to save that stuff. But
we're trying to honor our women, try and become one flesh with them, and provide a lifetime of happiness together with women. That's what the Republicans like to do. Oh my goodness! And this lady, she's appealing to frat boys out there, Juice. You really think she is? How many frat boys are going to have their minds changed because of that lady? Like, come on. Not happening.
Maybe a couple fat boys.
Yeah, I guess. Is that what they meant to say? Instead of frat boy? You hang out with the fat boys. Not appealing at all.
I don't want to be judging people and stuff.
But dude, how about the fact that like everything she's saying too? So many men out there agree with Black Lives Matter. They agree with pro-choice, and they agree with I forget the other one she said. But so
abortion. I don't know. Yeah, there was 3 though.
Yeah, but rattles off those things like majority of them agree with all this stuff, except the fact that they all left our party because they wanted to vote for something else. Ignore the fact that they voted differently. They definitely believe all these things. Trust me, I promise you.
I met a couple frat guys once.
Like, so there's no attempt at like trying to change the messaging. Oh, we're just gonna keep saying all the same stuff because we know they're pro-choice, pro-abortion, pro all this stuff. Like, no, you lost them because you don't know how to speak to them.
Yeah,
you don't know how to appeal to men.
Or maybe this, you went too far. You stopped like doing about just like standard social change and bringing up the poor people and
gay marriage was the other one.
Oh yeah.
They all
And,
support
like,
gay
yeah,
marriage.
Maybe you missed the
You
what we're
jumped
trying
to the
do.
shark.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
With that
yeah.
one. Like you might have had some conservative men when you said what we do in our bedrooms, our own business, or safe, legal, and rare, or
once you took the
things
Bud
along
Light
that.
away, once you took the Bud Light out of their hands, you
That's it,
went too
man.
far.
You're gone. You're done.
They couldn't even bring their favorite beverage without the thought that somebody else in their friend circle would make fun of them, because that's
Exactly.
when you lost the frat boys.
You lost them. You lost them with Dylan. All right, Juice. Do you have anything else to add to this lady or to that guy asking the questions?
No.
Think we kind of made our point, right? You guys know what we mean. So with that being said, let's give Olivia Juliana and whoever that guy was asking the questions one big fat classic.
Come on, man.
Boom. Because they deserve it. And that is the show today, guys. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all those good things, all that good stuff. Don't look for me on Facebook, please. Send Juice an Instagram request if you can figure out who he is. Find him out there. And until next week, thank you
Thanks for
having us. Me.
Well, very well.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Right and wrong.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Right and wrong.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Whoa.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Whoa.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Right and wrong.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Right and wrong.